Randos, what's going on, man? It's your boy Ace, and we gotta talk about something today, guys. Palworld. This has been an interesting game. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's been super fun. It's a really good game. I don't really have any gripes with the actual game itself, but it's just surprising to see how much of a hit it's become in just a span of a few days. I'm pretty sure it even broke a record or two, which is kind of nuts, honestly. But the game, you can get it on Game Pass via early access, and you guys just check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for whatever I'm about to say in this video. Won't. If you got Game Pass, a PC or Xbox, go try it. I heard through the grapevine that as of right now, there's no plans for the game to come out on PS5. But like I said, I'm sure you got a PC at home. This is not like a graphically demanding game. I'm sure this could run on most people's laptops. So I would definitely suggest checking it out. Whether you're on Xbox or PC, it's worth your time. I just want to kind of get into it today because a lot of people have been comparing the game to Pokemon, which I mean, understandably so. It's not really unwarranted, and it makes sense why people would compare the game. I mean, if you look at the actual monsters itself of the game, they look a lot like Pokemon. They act a lot like Pokemon, and the graphics, the way humans look and whatnot, it's very Pokemon-esque. Which, like I said, it's no wonder why people are comparing the two games or whatever. My whole thing is it just seems a little unfair to Palworld to compare the two, because this game, essentially what we're doing when we make these comparisons is we're pitting a game that just came out on early access to a franchise that's been going on for like, man, this is gonna be like 30 years now of Pokemon. So it's like, it's not really fair to Palworld, and also it's not really fair to Pokemon. But with that being said, I just want to talk about some things. I want to say I played Pokemon for the first time when I was anywhere from like 8 to 10. So I'm 28 now, guys. You do the math on that. That's almost 2 decades of watching the animes, watching the movies, playing the games. I've always enjoyed playing the games. The animes, some are okay and some are amazing, and then some are just bad. And in the movies, I always thought the movies were pretty good. I never really had any issue with Pokemon movies per se. I always thought they know how to make an entertaining movie. I think I get why people keep comparing this to Pokemon, and I don't think it has anything to do with the actual premise of the game. I think it has a lot to do with feelings, right? Like the feeling you get when you played Pokemon for the first time. I can't speak for you, but I can speak for myself. I remember playing Pokemon for the first time, and I remember, well, I can't say I remember my exact first time ever playing it, but I remember feeling a sense of adventure after getting like your starter Pokemon and you leaving like the hometown. I remember going through countless grinds because maybe I came across a Pokemon, like an area filled with certain Pokemon that it's like too tough to move on, so maybe I gotta level up my Pokemon a little bit, or maybe I found a trainer that's really tough, or even worse, a gym leader. And I remember I remember the feeling getting past all those tough spots. I remember that feeling being a sense of victory. I remember going to different parts of like the map and finding different kinds of Pokemon, not knowing what a lot of these things are, and just finding them and fighting them and capturing them for the first time, feeling a sense of joy. And I want to say that this game is not completely different. It's very different, but the feelings are still there, right? For example, like starting a new game, even though the game, like most games, it just throws you out in the world, you still get that sense of adventure. When you open the map and you see this is huge, this is all unexplored, you still get that sense of adventure. Going out and and finding different Pokemon, or not Pokemon, whoops, sorry guys, finding different monsters or pals or whatever you want to call them. You know, the feeling of joy when you're discovering new breeds and species of monsters. You know, and I haven't found anything grindy yet, but it's a survival genre based game, so it's gonna be grindy. You know, that grind is gonna be there for sure, no doubt about it. I was talking to a homie the other day, a few days ago actually, my man Sean, a very close friend of mine. Sean, if you're seeing this, what up? And he said something to me that kind of had me thinking a lot ever since I played the game, and just thinking back on like all my experiences with Pokemon. And he was basically just saying that it's not that he doesn't like Pokemon anymore, is that he hit a point when he realized basically he's growing up, but this franchise isn't growing with him, you know. And it was like some profound shit. Like, I was like, damn, that's so true, you know. And I think that's why Pokemon gets so much harsh criticism, is because we're growing out of Pokemon, or we're growing up hoping that it'll be different, and in reality Pokemon is staying stagnant and we're not, obviously. You know, which brings me to another point, another realization I had. There's three types of Pokemon fans. One, you got the fan that doesn't want change, because they feel like if we deviate too much from the old formula, this might not be good. And then you got number two, people like myself who love the old formula, but we're also welcoming to changes, you know. And then you got three, people who are just sick of it. And it's understandable, honestly. It's not like, guys, you gotta understand, some of us, we've been playing these same Pokemon games with the same formula, well, damn near almost our whole entire lives. It's not really far-fetched for people to look at something like this, go back to Pokemon and say, well, you know what, I would like a little bit of change here. You know, that's not really a crazy thing. And so that's where people are split when it comes to that, right? Sorry guys, I got objectives and whatnot. And by the way, I've made it not much further, but I made it a little further in my friend's world. I don't know why, but it didn't let me carry my character over. I guess that's something that's not supposed to be, or maybe it's gonna be updated so you can at some point. But that's cool. I mean, either way, the game's fun. I don't really have no problems. You know, you do what you gotta do. I don't really have no problems doing it over, especially because I'm just very early in the game. Even in his world, I'm still really early in the game. But it's interesting. This game is interesting. Essentially, this game is if you take Arc and Pokemon and put it together. And it's the interesting part about it is, if you would describe this game to somebody, and never show them a gameplay, never show them a trailer, never let them play it, if you would just describe this game to somebody, they would probably tell you that that's ass. How is that going to work out? How do you have a survival-based game that kind of centers around these monster Pokemon-like creatures? I can't explain to you how, but it works out. I don't know how, but it just does. It works out great, in my opinion. See, and this is that feeling of adventure I was talking about earlier. It's like as soon as you, and that's where you start the game. So we're really not far at all. In this world, we're basically in the beginning. We're literally in the beginning, not even basically. But you know, you come out that little cave, and then you come out and you see all this. You see that beacon right off the rip. You see in different landscapes. Look at another beacon all the way over there. See another one all the way over there in the distance. You probably can't see it in the video. One on top of the mountain. So you just get that feeling of adventure. Like, you know, off the rip, you're gonna be doing a lot of exploring. You're gonna probably see a whole lot of different kinds of life. When it comes to like monster-wise, these little guys being the monsters I'm referring to, because I don't want to keep calling them Pokemon. It feels like a disservice at this point if I just keep doing that. And so that's, you know, like I said, that's that feeling of adventure. I remember playing this and coming out and seeing this and just thinking like, damn, bro, that's crazy. And then seeing the monsters right away and just thinking like, wow, that's so cool. Like there must be so many of these little guys roaming around in all kinds of different areas and whatnot, you know. And it was really cool to me. It still is, obviously. It's really cool to me. Um, I I'm making this video, I guess, to say, you know, we're looking at this game and we should be enjoying this game instead of using it to criticize Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, this is not really, like, it just don't make sense to me, guys. You know what I mean? It just really doesn't make sense to me to use this game to judge Pokemon when, honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys something that might sound harsh, but Pokemon is not for us anymore. I'm sorry that I gotta be the one to crack the news, but all the people criticizing Pokemon and complaining about it are people my age or older. Pokemon is for children. If I'm wrong, then I'll accept it, but I'm willing to bet most people have never heard a child complain about a Pokemon game being bad or not being open enough or not being free. It's really, excuse me, it's really just people my age or around my age, which again is understandable. We're growing up and we want the Pokemon experience to grow with us, or at the very least move forward, or dare I say it, evolve. I know. It was a Pokemon. No, it was bad. Pokemon joke is terrible. Alright. And on your left of the stage, when you exit, DVDs are on sale on the rack. Thank you. Nah, all jokes aside. It's just, I think when you take something this, I want to say small, not that it's a small game per se, but this is not a franchise title. So when you take something like this and you pit it against a franchise title, excuse me, I think that's a little unfair for both titles, no matter which one's better or not. And I'm not here to tell you which game is better. I'm not here to criticize, critique on Pokemon or this game. I'm not here to sway anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just only speaking my mind and what I've seen playing the game in the world, and what I've seen looking at people's comments, looking at reviews, just the general outcry around, like, you know, around the game or whatever, whether it's good or bad. You know, just things that I've noticed and whatnot. But that's about all I got, man. But I do want to leave you guys with one more question, though. Are you guys ready to take the next step in Pokemon? Like, are you ready for the developers of these Pokemon games to take the next step? And for me, the answer is yes. But before you say yes, just really think about that question. We're not just talking about a small title. We're talking about a whole franchise. You know what I mean? As gamers, we have problems when our favorite games are changed, which is understandable. You make us play it one way this whole entire time. You change it, and then sometimes it could be not as good, you know. But with gamers, when they do a big change and something's not as good, we tend to clown it all the way. You know, we tend to kick its back in all the way. We can't just say like, yeah, this was okay or this was not that good. They changed something that we wanted to be changed, and it's a little off, that we go and grab our pitchforks. And I'm not here to defend developers, but I'm just saying that's not really that fair. So I asked this question again, and I'm gonna rephrase it because I didn't even ask it correctly the first time. Are we truly ready for the developers of Pokemon to take the next step? And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.